Okay, talk about trauma. So I watched the entire season 2 of Shiny Happy People, and I'm starting to watch season what 720 of Welcome to Plathville. This is a crazy crossover, but we talk about deprogramming. I don't talk about my religious past or anything like that. Um, the trauma about hiding behind that wall of Christianity as um, a gay person, the homophobia that I dealt with in the church. So, in a nutshell, here's my story. Instead of dealing with my repressed homosexual feelings as a teenager, um, I basically try to save myself from being thrown into one of those work camps. I was forced with the decision of either leaving the house or conforming to whatever my family rules were. And at the time, ain't no faggot gonna live in this house. Redirecting my faith or my energy into my faith was one way to stay in the safe closet. It was one way for me to stay and not safe. To be gay. So let's start out at the end of high school. True Love Waits was there. It was all over. I think that I may not have gone to a Teen Mania event, but I've gone to something like that. Um, but I even told myself that I was going to be pure in the eyes of God. And I wasn't a girl, but I felt like that was my saving grace, was to be a virgin until marriage. And being a virgin until marriage included not kissing, because if I were to um, kiss a girl, then that would lead to second base, and then it would lead to third base. And so, in order to stop the temptation um, and to stay pure before my Lord, was to um, not have any human contact. And so, I'll be honest with you, I a couple times before I even made out with a girl. So I went to college. I spent 4 years at a private Baptist university in East Texas. Um, I I firmly believed that I may have been born gay, but God has given me the power and the tools to not um, react, or um, not to give into that temptation. And so I submerged myself into every organization on campus that I absolutely could. I worked with the Southern Baptist Union. I was on the dorm councils. I was on a food committee. I was on a prayer team. I did a lot of stuff with praise and worship. I was in my business school. I was active in that. I mean, I did everything that I could so that I could be holy in the eyes of God and not fall into temptation. But freshman year, I went with a friend to a drag show at a local gay bar, who is an alumni of the university that I used to go to. So the next day, I was mortified, completely filled with guilt, because this was the first time that I was able to experience gay people, and I liked it. But I was so conflicted that I wouldn't eat. I wasn't drinking. I was crying. And I was a freshman in college. So I went to my church. My collegiate pastor was not in the office, and so it was just my head pastor of the church. And so we apparently decided through prayer that it was best to contact an organization in Colorado Springs, Colorado, called Exodus International. I'm a full-time college student, and I'm working full-time, and I'm trying to deal with my repressed sexual feelings. And the best thing that we have is to have somebody make me feel even more like shit. So I left that church. I attended other churches throughout, the years that I was going to college. Um, and I ended up finding this other church that I really seemed to like. I was in a fraternity that we picked up trash, we pumped gas for people, we served turkey baskets at Thanksgiving. I mean, it was, looking back, it was a nice effort, but it never really solved problems. It was a service fraternity that I really enjoyed the brotherhood of it for a point, and then I didn't enjoy it so much anymore. I started going to this church, and it was a Baptist church that a lot of the faculty from my school went to. Even a government professor went there. It was a pretty good church to me, but I never really got involved. I just went on Sundays because I worked full time and I was a full time student, and I was trying to juggle all of this the entire time and all of those organizations that I was involved in. But there was this one Sunday that happened that I'll never forget. And it was the point that I never returned to a Baptist church again. Out of all of those conventions that I went to, all of those weekends in Arlington that I went to every August or September, um, all of those revivals that I went to, even growing up Lutheran, for Christ's sake, we have always been taught that when you are singing praise and worship in reverence to your God, that you are either on your knees begging for forgiveness or mercy, or you are standing with open arms and worshiping and doing everything that you can to be in the spirit of the Lord. During the meet and greet, I had the pastor of this church that I had been going to for some time come up to me. And he said, "Hi, my name is Reverend blah, 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 blah. And here at blah, blah, Baptist Church, we worship Jesus the same. And when we stand, we stand. And we sit, we sit. And I expect you to do the same." Oh, okay. Here's the thing. They chose to have seated worship service where everybody sits down. And apparently, by me standing up and singing standing up, I was being a distraction to the others in the church. Instead of asking me politely to say, "Hey, some people behind you are distracted. If you choose to worship like this, please stand in the back of the sanctuary, or on the sides so that you are not immediately affecting somebody else's worship." I would have been like, "Man, that's fucking awesome. I even more reason to continue going here." But at the end of the service, when they are like, "Okay, now's the time for you to come up to the Lord and come join the church," and that good stuff to get that membership up, he said, "Here at Baptist Church, we welcome you to worship freely with us. So if you would like to achieve that, please feel free to join our church." I realized then and there that my relationship with whatever higher being or um, energy that I choose to put my heart and soul into has absolutely no reason to be a part of people who behave like that. And sadly, it has been proven over and over and over again that that is what this whole cult is about. And I choose not to be a part of it. The documentary hit home, and then watching all of these boys on Plathville treat Zach the way that they're treating him. Now, first of all, I told you at the very beginning how I viewed True Love Waits. And, I knew a lot of choir directors that ended up marrying women way too soon because they were under the pressure of the people around them and of the church to perform that way. I'm not saying that Zach and Olivia aren't going to be good for each other, but I'm saying in my experience, you guys are both loving the Lord. But the same guys in my Christian university were the same ones that treated me the same way that Ethan and all of them treat gay people.